him.
Upgrade anytime at Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer.
Thanks for being here today. And again, I want to thank all of you for your support over the 19 years. You know, it's been terrific. Some of the support from some of you has been much greater than some of you others, but it's been there, and we've always been very grateful for any of it. And so that's basically as much as I want to say on that matter. We're here now. You've had a chance to read through it. You know that an owner has been identified, and I'm here to basically to receive your questions, and will do my very best to answer you all and give you some comfort of knowing how we feel at this particular time.
Russ, what are you proudest of and what do you regret the most?
I'm sorry?
What are you proudest of and what do you regret the most in the 19 years?
Well, thanks. Well, certainly proud of where the franchise has come since, 19 years ago, the state that it was in at that particular time. And, obviously some of our, hosting the Memorial Cup was really special in 2001, hosting it and being a part of it. You always remember certain incidents like, the hockey game that went to 1:30 a.m. in the morning against Lethbridge in the playoffs, things like that, for sure. Regrets, obviously I regret that we didn't win a championship. We tried like hell, believe me, but, it didn't happen. I regret that we didn't have a better relationship with the park over that period of time. And having said that, we weren't the only owners that had those experiences in the past. So, but other than that, I've got just some wonderful memories from the years we were here. I mean, first of all, I loved junior hockey, and I was in a great junior hockey city. I was born and raised, I have a history of listening to the Pats, so all of that was pretty special for me.
Russ, was it more a matter of, was this finally time to move on, or was it an offer that you just couldn't refuse?
No, it was just time, honestly. I could have probably waited longer and maybe looked at some more offers, but you know what? Been thinking about it, and Anthony Marquardt introduced himself to me, almost a year ago, and we just had conversation, and it was certainly long before the Saskatoon sale. Well, not too long, I guess, but anyhow, we'd sort of came to a verbal agreement, and of course there was the confidentiality disclosure that we both signed with at that particular time. And it was honored right to the end, and we remain, even though there was no doubt that we could have put the club out on the market and looked at some other people, but I had a very high comfort level with the man that I was meeting with across the table, and I feel that way today. We're dealing with someone that lives in Regina, who's local. He's going to have some partners. One I'm sure you all know is Todd Lombard. So it's a very healthy arrangement. I feel personally that the team is owned by people in Regina and will be involved with the hockey club. I always had a sense that I was kind of considered a bit of a foreigner here for whatever reason. Hey, 19 years ago there were rumors that we were selling the franchise then, and a strong one that Rob made reference to about 7 years ago. So those have been ongoing, and that was never the case. I mean, we didn't buy the hockey club to flip it and get out of town. We had the team because we enjoyed junior hockey, every bit of it, and enjoyed being here. We had hurdles, of course, but every franchise has those. But no, as I said earlier this year, when Brent was leaving, I said at that time, before somebody asked me the question, I said, look at me. I'm not going to own this team forever. I'm getting up where, it's just time for us to have some other more choices and things we want to do. So no, we'll miss the franchise. No, there's no doubt about that. we'll miss the team here and our involvement, and miss the players for sure.
Russ, we understand the Saskatoon Blades sold for $80 million. Are the Pats in that ballpark?
You know, I can't comment on that. Did they get 8?
That's what we've been told.
Good for them.
That's why we don't see Rick Brasky anymore.
Oh, good for them.
Do you, Russ, do you look back at that Memorial Cup run and just that whole experience here at the rink in the city as the highlight of your time?
It would certainly be one of them, for sure. Yeah, no, that was a tremendous week. That we were able to host it and be involved, and saw some great hockey. Yeah, that would certainly have to be one of them. You know, it's always in the playoffs a great time, of course, for junior hockey too. I mean, we've seen you know, how the city reacts to playoff hockey. You know, even though some of our stints have not been as long as we'd like, but the fan reaction was tremendous. You know, even this year, you know, opening night there, and the place was sold out. You know, can't imagine what it'd be like here. We could have made it to the 4th round or something, but that's how it goes. There's no, as I said earlier in this report here, there's no guarantees in sports. There's other teams in our league that haven't been to the big dance either, but anyway,
Do you know what their plans would be with the current staff?
everything will be status quo. I mean, they are very much aware of how we're structured and who the personnel is, and they're very comfortable going forward. So, you know, they'll obviously be more involved than I was, you know, because they live right here. But no, you know what? We have a good organization right now. We've got excellent people, you know, right through from our scouts to our coaches to our senior management people, and there's no need to be tinkering with that.
What about the lease with Everett? Is there any issues with transfer of ownership?
Oh, they shouldn't be. They'll be happy to get us out of town, I think. No, I don't mean that. You know, the relationship hasn't been great at times. I mean, you know, the only ideal arrangement is to have your own building or be running your own building. Other than that, you're always going to have some issues. But no, I don't anticipate there will be any problems whatsoever.
Russ, you mentioned how much you and the family enjoyed junior hockey. How much did this sale plan, I guess, be accelerated once Brent stepped away? The family wasn't exactly involved day-to-day, hands-on, maybe some of the fun was still on.
Well, you know, it certainly was part of our thought process for sure. You know, not having a family member here since we weren't here, you know, on a daily basis. So that gave us some comfort that, you know, was no longer there. But you know, we thought, you know, we'd keep it going for a while and see how it would work out. But as I said, the thoughts were creeping into our minds in a way that it was probably time. So.
Did the talks with Anthony come after Brent sat down as president?
No. Brent was good question. Yeah, good question. Brent was still involved with the team when we started discussions.
Russ, why do you think it is there was that perception that you were a foreigner? Mooseman doesn't say you're a foreign character.
I know. A long time ago, Rob. I guess. I think it's just, you know, an absentee owner. I mean, we've seen that in other cities where, for whatever reason, there's just a much higher comfort level with local ownership. I don't know why that's the case, and you know, maybe I'm out of line, Annie, but I always sense that, and I think Brent would probably share that with me too, that, you know, that we were not foreigners, probably isn't a very good word, but we're not part of the community, city. We don't live here, even though he lived here and raised his family here.
Russ, do you feel you helped save this franchise?
Excuse me?
You feel you helped save this franchise?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I remember, you know, when we came in here, it wasn't in very good state. You know, in the report there, I think there were 700 season ticket holders, and not all of those were full packages. You know, I think we contributed a great deal. I think we brought some soon anyway, we brought credibility. You know, we put some money back into the facility. You know, I mean, it was a drab old barn, you know, at one time, and you know, we made a lot of large financial contributions to upgrading the facility, particularly for the Memorial Cup. But even prior to that, you know, we got rid of that old moat and brown paint. Got them to put some paint. Did a lot of things, you know, the suites, and so you know, that part of it, I think we made an immense contribution. And I think that we certainly raised the profile of the franchise by some things that we did, you know, as an organization. You know, I'm not personally taking credit for them, but we you know, we had a plan coming in, and we knew what it was going to take. I was given certainly plenty of warnings of how the franchise was being operated. So we were prepared to make that commitment, and we did so. So, you know, I think I feel pretty good, honestly, about our time here.
There's a lot of talk on the ice, Russ. What about the contributions and the legacy you'd like the Pats to have over your 19 years off the ice in the community?
Well, I just think that you know, it's hard to be right up there with the Riders, but we'd like to be. You know, and I think that's the best thing you can do is, you know, be very active in the community. That's a big, and I think we are now. There was a time when the team was not, but now they are. There's not very many days go by that, you know, the players aren't out attending some function, and it's very important. So, and I think that has to remain. I mean, for the franchise to grow, we need the organization, players obviously included, and coaches to be out there in the community, and so that we do have a profile that's required for growth.
Russ, after 19 years, what's it like to sit here and talk about this today and go through with it today?
Well, it's kind of fun, actually, Rob. You've been such a great supporter, and you've born and raised in Regina, so you've seen Pats players, management, and ownership come and go. So, you know, and a lot of them didn't make it through 19 years, but we did. You know what? And I have no regrets in that regard at all. So, and it's fun to talk about it. I mean, man, and you talk about some of the games that we had, some of the highlight plays that we witnessed over the years. You know how lucky I feel I was lucky, honestly. You know, to be involved in a small town of Saskatchewan with listening to hockey, and now to have the ownership of the team, and now to be turning the keys over to someone else in its time. I feel very fortunate.
Have any advice?
And I could stay here all day and talk about it if you've got lots of time. Sorry.
Advice to the new potential owners?
What advice could I give them? Patience. Honestly, you have to be patient in this business, you know, both in forming a team and the front office. You know, somebody said it's not easy. It's not easy winning in this league. You know, you have a short window, you know, and then you're rebuilding, or, you know, I admire the franchises, and there's been a few of them that have sort of sustained that competitiveness on the ice for longer stretches than some. You know, it's a credit to them. It's not easy. But no, that would be my advice. There's a lot of folks out there that think it's obviously that it would be fun to own a sports franchise. But it's another thing to know what the hell you're doing once you get control of the franchise. You know, you may be successful in another business or two, but running a junior hockey franchise or any sports franchise is very different, very challenging. So you have to be patient.
Did you lose more than you made?
Oh, God. I don't want to get into it. As I say, if we could have filled the building every night, you know, maybe I wouldn't be here today. But it's I say it's a challenge. You know, I don't know, throughout our league, you know, there's obviously some franchises doing better than others, but we need to look at, be very active out there looking for new revenue streams constantly. You know, the new TV deal we just signed with, what was it, Sportsnet. You know, there's going to be a little income there, which will be appreciated. You know, World Junior revenues has been good, but you know, just to operate on, you know, on tickets and marketing alone, it's you have to have a good year. You really have to have a little bit of playoff success to say that, you know, it was a great year.
Is there any reason to believe the sale of the Pats wouldn't go through?
I'm sorry?
Is there any reason to believe the sale wouldn't go through?
I don't think so. No, there has to be, I think they're still putting their structure together somewhat as to, you know, and the league will be very careful about that because the things in Saskatoon haven't gone as well as the governors were led to believe. You know, just, you know, they made some changes in a hurry. So they're going to be very conscious of that. But I, you know, you're all going to meet Anthony and Todd, and maybe some of you know them. I think you're going to like them. I really do. I mean, I did, and I don't know Todd very well. I met him, you know, just a few weeks ago in the Western Hockey League office. But my dealings with Anthony have been just superb. You know, so I think when they make their presentation to the governors, if they do it in the way that I'm sure they will, that they'll be accepted, and I believe they'll be good partners.